What is up, everyone, and welcome to episode 3 of Beast's Ranting While I Was Driving. So if this is the first time you're listening to this, there's going to be a little road noise. I apologize. But this episode is going to be talking about prices, and me going, people saying I'm going crazy, I'm mad, whatever. I wouldn't say I'm mad, I'm more passionate than anything because I care about the traditional firework consumer, the families that want to celebrate the 4th of July. So I don't know if Phantom's listening. I doubt it. Hopefully they are, because at least if Phantom somewhere or the intern, sorry, I'm going to say some things that might hurt some feelings. I'm sorry if you work for Phantom and you are part of the marketing team, or you're the CEO, or just a stand owner, whatever. Whoever it is, please listen. I'm going to try not to have this too long. I'm going to try to limit my rants. This is like my second take at doing this podcast, so hopefully it's going to be like 20 minutes of ranting, and we're going to get to the point. I'm going to address some of the comments I've had. I'm going to address people and what all this, what the heck is Phantom doing? And I'm not going to just leave Phantom out to dry. I'm going to put some TNT gripes in there as well. But if you haven't already, and I find it highly unlikely, if you're listening to this podcast, you didn't watch the Phantom flyer video that I posted, and people saying I'm mad. And I am, I would maybe say that I'm passionate at most. Because whoever is in charge of the prices, whether it's the marketing team or some intern that did some community college classes or whatever, and that decided to look at the Excel spreadsheet and was like, okay, what are we making the most money on? Okay, we're making the most money on assortments and BOGOs. All right, what's our best selling assortment? We need to cover the cost. We need to make some money back. Let's see, the Phantom Awestruck. Wow, look at that thing. Year after year, that thing is selling like really well. Why is that? I don't know. I'm just looking at numbers. Let's increase that by $90. Last year it was $200, but people are still going to buy it because look, it's one of the top sellers. It doesn't matter. They're going to buy it. No, wrong. You cannot jump to basically. They're jumping tiers of assortment. So every fireworks stand store has assortment tiers, right? You will use TNT as an example. You had the classic. Back in the day, they had the 49er worth $49. You had the All-American. You had the Grand 49er. You had the Perfect Show. You had the All-American. You had the Big Deluxe, etc. up to the Big Bang. There's tiers to it, There's the 49, the 80, the 100, the 130, the 180, the 220s. It goes up in tiers. The higher the price, the bigger the box, the more illusion that you're getting more product, right? So what Phantom decided to do, they had two assortments above the Phantom Awestruck, specifically the Backyard Barrage and the Phantom Fire Blast. So Phantom, in their all infinite wisdom, decided to not change, from my understanding, because it looks exactly the same from the photo, and that's another issue, which I'll address after this so I can stay on track. They decided to take the Phantom Awestruck and jump it 2 tiers in the assortment tier. So it passed the Fire Blast and it passed the Backyard Barrage, right? So immediately what they're showing to us is, this was a screw up. We had this price wrong all along, and the amount of quality of product in here is worth more. Wrong. The reason why the Phantom Awestruck back in the day when it was $100 or in $120, why it was so good, it wasn't you weren't getting the best bang for your buck. You're getting the most bang for your buck. So in layman's term, it was quantity over quality. And Phantom Awestruck had nothing to hide. It wasn't filled with a bunch of giant cylindrical tubes that took up a lot of space. Granted, there is some in there, but it was very transparent. It was a good assortment for people that needed some filler items to kind of, keep people entertained, to light things, and to, do in between your single items that stands in your finale. It was a good amount of quote unquote sparks for your show. That's what made the Awestruck so good. It had nothing to hide. You got a lot of product for what you paid for. That's why the Awestruck was good. Now, last year is pretty much the year it became outpriced and not worth it. It became $200. At that point, it's not worth it anymore because you're better off buying single items. Anyways, normally, historically, and factually, you're always better off buying single stand items over assortments. Anyways, but some people don't have the time and energy and resources to do that, and that's fine. And a majority of seasonal pyros that celebrate the 4th of July with their families, they're just going to the stand buying assortments and some novelties. they're not going to be doing that. The people watching my videos and everybody else at least understand that, where the awestruck stood and what was better. Now, when you jump tiers in assortments and you outprice it, and last year it was $200 and you add $90, increasing the tier of this assortment, it makes it seem like you guys don't know what you're doing, at least in my opinion, because either you guys are just so unorganized and just don't know what you're doing, or you're chasing profit and money chasing. My assumption is profit chasing, 100%. I don't think Phantom is stupid. I think they looked at their Excel spreadsheet with their marketing team and are like, all right, Phantom Awestruck is the highest performer. We need to cut costs, and we don't want to put price increases on everything else. So let's just, people are going to love that assortment. They're going to buy it. No, wrong. What you should have did was what TNT did. They did pretty much a flat percentage increase on certain items, and certain items were kept the same, if not less sometimes, right? So what if every assortment got like a 5 to 10% increase, I wouldn't be complaining. I could have expected the Phantom Awestruck being $210 That would make sense to me. I could see everything go up $10 to $15, and that would be not okay with me, but I would understand it. It's a slap in the face to us, at least to me, that you think that we're that stupid, I guess, or what? I don't know. It's a slap in the face. The other thing I was alluding to, that the flyer from last year, from 2024, is the exact same as 2025. So not only did they not give enough, they're going to slap us with this price increase, they didn't do us the decency of even giving us a new flyer. They just changed the prices. Whatever. Stuff happens. It is what it is. Sometimes you have to repurpose stuff. I get it. But if you're going to friggin' go out of your way to just basically, by force or fear, rob us of money, then at least give us a fancy looking flyer. Come on. So some of the comments are saying, Beast, you're mad, blah, blah, blah. I don't understand why you can defend, or why you're mad at Phantom when TNT's doing the same thing. And TNT's no angel. I've already made my gripes about TNT. I've already complained in the video about sparklers being $20 and some of the other price increases. I get it. It is what it is. At least they did it the right way. Like, I think if TNT didn't get their prices out if Phantom got their prices out before TNT did, I think everybody would be singing a different tone. Because the fact that we saw TNT first, we were kind of sticker shocked a little bit by TNT. But then when Phantom came out, we're like, oh my God, this is even worse. So I think if Phantom came out first, everybody would be on TNT's side, because they would realize that they did the better thing for the business model, right? And just as I stated in the video, the tariffs really shouldn't have ever affected assortments in general, because assortments, especially from Phantom and TNT, they're sold all over the place. These big companies have this backstock normally all the time. So I have my gripes about TNT, but at least they, year after year, are putting in effort. Phantom, I feel like, doesn't even try anymore. And another thing I have a problem with Phantom is, and I know Polar Bear Pyro Talk constantly tells me I quote unquote shitted on Phantom for forced BOGOs. I don't like BOGOs. Everybody, I'm an adult, right? Everybody knows in the firework world, when something says BOGO, the price is front loaded. You don't actually get one free. You're paying for both. So when something says it's $50, one firework isn't worth $50. It's the two you're getting is worth $25. So anytime you see BOGO, you divide it in half, and that's how much you're getting. So instead of making me buy 2 storm runners for $50, just let me freaking buy one for $25. I'm an adult. People have to be 18 to buy these things. I don't like it. It's stupid. I can get it on some of the smaller items. It's fine. That's where you should keep it. for the novelties, for the things under $25, $30, to make your, when you did your 100 gram finales for, or not 100, 500 gram finales for, it was like 130 BOGO. You were paying, what, $65 for a finale. That was, I didn't like it. Yeah, it was quote-unquote cheaper than it was the year prior, but just let me buy one thing for $65. You'll sell more. I guarantee you, if people don't look at something and say, oh, that's $130, they're not even going to think about it. Like, okay. You got to understand, I don't know. It's like, I don't know what the marketing team at Phantom is doing. It's like, when you got to understand that you have all walks of life that are freaking buying fireworks, and some people don't have more than $100, $200 to spend, and when they see one fountain for $130, buy one, get one free, they're not even going to sniff in that direction. Now, if it was $65 and they had $200 to spend, it might be a more acceptable approach to me, in my opinion. I don't know. It's just stupid. I'm an adult. I know what buy one, get one free. Every person buying firework knows what buy one, get one free is. It's not free. You're just front-loading the cost. It's stupid. I don't like it. I don't understand it. It's an old marketing tactic that was designed on psychology that made people feel like they're getting more product, and it's stupid. I feel like we're in the information era. Internet is just all over the place. We really know the prices. It's fine. We don't need to be treated like we're just little, drones that see, oh, buy one, get one free. I get a free item. Free is good. Like, no. Just treat me like an adult. Stop the BOGOs over $60. It just doesn't make sense. Let me buy things single for the appropriate price. Period. Full stop. Alright? I don't know if that makes sense to me. At least it makes sense to me, but I don't know if it makes sense to everybody else. And I'm not asking for people to boycott Phantom. People are like, well, I'm still going to buy things. That's fine. That's great. If you want to buy things, go to Phantom. I don't care. Just don't buy the garbage. I hope you buy good things. I do. I hope the things you buy are great, but I'm not spending a dime. I might go there to see what it looks like, their stock and whatever. But if you're a stand owner, I'm sorry. I'm not trying to hurt the nonprofits. This has been my day one since I started this channel. My goal has always been to, for one, give families an opportunity to celebrate the 4th of July legally and safely, and to know that if you do a little bit of research, and if you don't want to, you can just watch my video and get a quick down and dirty guide on what to buy, and you can still have a good 4th of July. And that I wanted to also support because there's a lot of nonprofits, a lot of schools, bands, churches, XYZ, you name it, that rely on these funds sometimes during the summer and volunteers to come in to help with certain projects and programs. I get that, and I understand that by me stepping on it and screaming from the top of my lungs that, Phantom, you suck and never go to Phantom type thing, that's going to hurt them, and I'm sorry. But I don't know how to fix this. I know I'm kind of causing the exact thing that I don't want to happen. I don't want nonprofits not to do it anymore, because when you have nonprofits not showing up to volunteer their time to run a stand anymore in the heat in the summer, and there's going to be less sales, and less sales equals less stands, and less stands equals there's just no money to be made in California anymore, and they're going to bounce. So then after Phantom leaves, it's just going to be TNT, and then we're stuck with TNT. And competition breeds innovation and drives down prices. The ultimate goal would be to have another firework company come in and rattle some cages and charge a lot less. Because right now we have what's called a duopoly. It's like a monopoly, but there's two companies that pretty much run it. And as I stated before, I think if we saw the Phantom prices first before TNT, everybody would be singing a different tone, because of the shock we would have got from seeing Phantom versus TNT would have been out of this world. And that's just the reality of the situation. And there's not a lot of, I don't know how many Phantom fanboys there are, but it's just, I don't like it. It's stupid to me. And I'm sorry. I hope somebody from Phantom, whether it's a stand operator or regional area, or if it's somebody out of state or whatever. I don't think they listen to this podcast this long. But if you guys want to freaking do well, I'm not saying talk to me. There's plenty of other better firework YouTubers than me. I'm like a C-list YouTuber. I have only 5,000 subs, and I don't know how much influence I have, and I do want to at least allude to me and the firework community in general as a whole, especially when it comes to, we have a bunch of them. We have Polar Bear, we have Red Devil, a lot of firework YouTubers, big and small, that talk about assortments and fireworks and buyer's guides and reviews, and other safe and sane YouTubers. There's a lot of people that share their opinions, and they're all kind of, I would assume, in agreement that, I would almost put money on it, that every person that has been doing this for a while agrees with me that adding $90 on an assortment that was last year $200 and jumping 2 tiers in the assortment tier is the worst decision that has ever been made in California firework history, at least in my lifetime. I can get past the BOGO thing. That's just my gripe. I find it silly that the firework world really clings on to this buy one get one free shenanigans when it's not really getting anything free. Just call it what it is. You just you're buying 2. Like, can we get past that? Or how about buy 2 get 1 free and actually get something at an actual discount? You can have the argument that some of the things in the BOGOs are a percentage of discount, whether it's 5, 10, 20%. Sometimes that does happen. But for what I'm looking at now, nothing is discounted by 0%. There's a very small amount. Like, you have the Storm Runner, which for whatever reason came out at $50 when it came out originally, and now it's all the way down, cut in half to $25. So my concern is this going to be the watered down version? I tried to do some research on it, and the only thing I could find is obviously during the manufacturing season, there's multiple firework manufacturing plants in China and elsewhere that pretty much do the same thing, and certain plants, firework manufacturers, are kind of design the fountains with different compositions and different mixes, methods, and XYZ, and that's why you'll see some Storm Runners outperform others. That's the only thing I can find. I don't know if that's true, but it's the only thing I can find. It doesn't say specifically Storm Runner, but I was able to locate, Phantom and TNT, due to both of them having to manufacture, because not so many places in China and elsewhere manufacture fountains. A lot of them are very aerial and cake and brick, like the mortar shell kits. Those are, a lot of them process those because of those are the majority of what needs to be manufactured. Fountains are very a smaller market, so obviously there's going to be some supply issues in manufacturing and obviously some quality control issues. So I don't think that's Phantom on purpose. I think that's just them trying to get product out on time. My concern is that batch that's coming out, since it's so much cheaper than the original $50, is it's just from the plant that sucked and it's a pretty tame Storm Runner. I don't know. We won't know till somebody does a video on it, because I'm not buying one. I'm not going to Phantom. I'm sorry, it's just not happening. We're approaching 20 minutes now. I said I was going to keep this short, so to address some of the comments, I'm not mad. I'm just passionate. I'm passionate about giving people the best fireworks they can every year and to do things safely and legally. And when you get slapped in the face on something that you feel like you spearheaded, especially me, I was the one beating the drum on how good the Ostruck was back in the day. Now it's almost, it went from $100 to nearly $300. If you would have told me, back 5 years ago that the Ostruck would be that much, I'd be like, oh, well, what did they change? Did they add like a bunch of stuff in there? That's really expensive. Is it like, did they change something? And if you were to tell me no, everything's exactly the same, I'd be having the same reaction. And I think that goes without saying for everyone. And if you think this is fine, then you're Mr. Moneybags and enjoys burning their money, because there's no logical reason behind any of this. Granted, there is items that didn't see any price increase, but I'd rather see a $5, $3, $4, $10 increase across the board than just get it pretty much have an entire assortment priced out for the majority of the population of firework consumers. So that's my gripe. I'd rather see a modest increase on everything than sticking it all on one item and expecting everybody to just be happy and cool with it. It's stupid. So a lot of people say, oh, there's a lot of good stuff. Yeah, what? I don't know what's good at Phantom. Very little. I'd rather save my money and buy more Master of Sparks or other fountains elsewhere, just to tell you the truth, because the reality of the situation is, when it comes to Phantom versus TNT, when it comes to certain effects, there is some cheaper items at Phantom, like there's better nitrocellulose and XYZ, and sometimes it is easier to get those certain effects at Phantom than it is TNT, because either those items that have that effect is just too expensive for some people, so that's fine. But when TNT constantly every year puts out new items with effort and unique fountain effects that we sometimes have never seen before, like Electro, like it actually, like, you guys have to see it or more or less hear it in person. It's a very interesting, unique item. Phantom gives us things that they've had on their shelves in their big box stores for years, and they're not unique. They're just more or less the same thing. The most kind of exciting item they have is the lighthouse fountain, which may or may not even have the same crackle when we see it, because the only video we have is of the winter product that wasn't designed for California. So it may be completely different from what we actually see. So I would caution you to probably do a video on it if you do buy one, because I sure as hell ain't, is keep your expectations low so you're not disappointed. Because when your expectations are high, you're going to be disappointed. So a little bit of a shorter podcast this time. Feels like I pretty much regurgitated the same stuff, but I just want to reiterate, I'm not mad. I'm passionate. I don't care if you want to call me mad. It is what it is. Frustrated, maybe, but you should be too, to be honest. You should be too. The fact that they're treating us like children and thinking that we're just going to not see the things the things they're doing price-wise is just completely backwards and frustrating to me. I don't get it. It is what it is. It's over with. Maybe this was all a tinfoil hat conspiracy to see the reaction, and then they're gonna, make the Phantom awestruck $160 again. Even if it's that price, it's barely within the right price point for that assortment. The correct price for the Phantom awestruck, I would say at most, is about $130, maybe $140 at most. Even then, that's not really worth it. The only time I would ever buy a Phantom awestruck again if it's under $120, and that's just the reality of it. So, Phantom, stop it. Get some help. I don't know, guys. I'm going to end it. Let me know in the comments if you listen to the whole thing. Let me know what you guys think. I think you guys already kind of let me know what you think, but go ahead and leave a comment on here and let me know. You guys take it easy, stay safe, and I'll see you in the buyer's guides coming up.